Welcome back to AgriTalk here at the Farm Progress Show in Decatur, Illinois. There's still, it's not a big crowd. It's a light crowd, as always, on the third and final day, but I think it'll really thin out quickly this afternoon. But the temperature's going up. At least there's air moving, and that really helps here. All right, we're at the Rabo AgriFinance exhibit at the Farm Progress Show. Tad Mozina joins us now. Tad is Vice President, Insurance Marketing for Rabo AgriFinance. Tad, I was just thinking, you and I were talking risk management during the break there. Is there more emphasis on risk management with high commodity prices or when commodity prices are low?
Well, I think that's it, especially as we saw in the spring with the high commodity prices and reaching $6 for the price selection on corn. We had an awful lot of interest in making sure people had revenue protection in place and that they understood exactly what they were looking at. I think there was a tendency early on in the year to think we might have a repeat of 2008, where I want to make sure I'm locked in, I've got that protection should prices drop again. Doesn't look like we're looking at that, but that was some of the concern early on.
Let's talk crop insurance. I mean, like any other insurance, you buy it hoping you never need it. But this year we've seen a little bit of everything. It's hard to know what coverage to get, what to cover for. I mean, we've had a little bit of everything this year, as we've pointed out. What's a good plan when it comes to trying to decide what to do on crop insurance?
Sure. Obviously, for crop insurance, the bulk of what we see is the revenue protection. Obviously, that's covering you both for the production as well as the on the revenue side as well. But really, the approach we try to take, we've got a great group of agents in the field backed up by a team of servicing agents as well, for our clients have that opportunity to make sure they've got it covered on both ends, and a real good team. But we really like to look at it on an individual basis. Everybody is different. Their tolerance for risk, their area is very different. We have clients in certain parts of the country that their multi-peril policy is just not going to cut it. They want to make sure that they've got additional hail policies on top of that. And then there's part of the countries where they're not going to see hail, and that's not of any interest. So really on an individual basis, your tolerance for risk, how it's going to fit in with your marketing strategy, and some things like that, we really try to look at individually. But you're right, this year has definitely been a year that people are finding out a lot more about their insurance.
What are some good tips for filing claims?
Sure. Probably I talk to our agents every week, and I see the types of things that they're dealing with, and they kind of give me a great general rule for the first thing and at harvest time, and that is always call your agent first. If you think you've even got a claim, we've got 72 hours to file that claim, and they always want to make sure it is a lot easier to withdraw a claim than to try to get one in late. There are times throughout the process where you may be missing some things or doing some things to your crop that might kick you out or make you ineligible for the program. So it's always important to contact your agent before you do just about anything.
I hear, and I mentioned this to you, I hear from farmers a lot of times, they're frustrated how long it takes to get an adjuster out onto their farm. As you pointed out, well, if that farmer's having a problem, there's a good chance others around him are as well, so there's a high demand for those adjusters.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's one of the unfortunate things with having to use your insurance, is especially as we're talking about farming and crop production, that yes, if you've got a claim, more than likely so does your neighbor, so does a lot of others within the county, and the companies for the most part are doing a very good job of getting good quality people out there and getting to these claims as rapidly as we can. And boy, do we know it's frustrating, because we're right there with them, especially as a lender as well. We often have a larger relationship with these people, and we certainly don't want to see their operations impacted, and that's one of the reasons why we offer it along with all the other financial services we do.
Well, let's look ahead to next year and what they're thinking about or should be thinking about as far as crop insurance in 2012.
No, you're exactly right. I think this will be a very good year for, as I said, with all that's happened from the preventive planning claims and everything else that we had early on, to really understand what you've got for coverage, take a look and see if you need to change those coverage levels. If maybe going from, I think you'll probably start to see some more enterprise units back to optional units to intensify the coverage a little bit. And we really don't know what the 2012 Farm Bill, if that extra subsidy associated with enterprise units might be there. So that's really something to watch for.
I was thinking about this the other day. If you take any 5 or any 10-year period, the odds of not having a damaging weather event on your operation, those odds are pretty slim.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think overall we're somewhere in the neighborhood of in excess of 80% of the insurable acres in America are now covered under the federal crop insurance program. So I think it's exactly what you said. If you're looking at a 5-year period, you're looking at weather extremes like we've got this year in particular. I don't think it's going to get better moving forward.
Well, I know a lot of farmers get frustrated with crop insurance. Improvements have been made, attempts have been made to improve it. Obviously there's still room for more improvement. It's still a work in progress.
No, you're absolutely right. I think there are some things every year that the combo policy this year was getting rid of CRC and RA and combining that together was a step in the right direction. But as well as the producers out there, crop insurance is an ever-changing program, which is why it's so important to work with an agent and an agency that truly focuses on it, understands it, and communicates with them regularly. And that goes both ways. It's very important for producers to stay in constant contact with their agents. And again, before you're doing anything to that crop, you ought to check in to make sure it's not going to impact your coverage.
Have your agent on speed dial for sure. All right, with what's going on with the financial markets right now and the credit conditions, the downgrading for the country and things like that, what does that mean for farmers?
Well, I think it's pretty important to make sure, again, on the lending side, which of course is what we're doing, you're looking at a financial institution very, very sound, secure, can offer a very competitive access to credit and access to the markets. But volatility has always been a thing for producers, and it's always been a thing in agriculture. And it appears to be in the last few years, and I certainly don't see it changing moving forward. Volatility is going to be the name of the game, and these swings seem to be so extreme and so violent that you really need to have good resources and good folks on your side when you're working that way.
What about commodity swaps or interest rate swaps?
Well, I think
let Sean talk about.
We get Mr. Smines up here. His group works with that, and I know it's one of the things from a risk management standpoint that our organization offers. And again, part of what we're working with, we have some very good people with that, and I think Sean's set to talk about that a little bit more.
We'll talk about that coming up on our online coverage when we get into that. But obviously, risk management, is a key, and there's going to be volatility. It may be at a higher range now, commodity price wise, but the volatility is still going to be there. And when a farmer still have your locked-in input costs and things like that, whether that volatility is between $6 and $8 corn or $2 and $4 corn, it still has quite an impact.
No, absolutely. And again, I think the perception and of course even the reality is that such high commodity prices and so much at stake, you really have to have a good risk management strategy that might cover a wide range of things, from swaps to crop insurance to your marketing plan, and all working in conjunction. But there's a lot at stake anymore, and as producers continue to grow and their operations get a lot larger in size and scope, small things can be critical factors.
Very good. Tad, we'll talk to you again in a little bit. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mike.
All right, that is Tad Mozena, Vice President, Insurance Marketing for Bravo AgriFinance. We'll have him and Sean Smines with us for some bonus coverage coming up at AgriTalk Online if you want to join us here right after the top of the hour at agritalk.com. With that, we will wrap it up for our broadcast from the Farm Progress Show. Wow, we've been here since Monday. It's been a good week, good crowds. Hot weather certainly has settled in, and we thank everyone for joining us. I've seen a lot of people, listeners to AgriTalk. We appreciate that and appreciate them coming by. Tomorrow we'll have an open line, and you'll be able to pick the topics of discussion. Anything you want to bring up, we'll want to hear from you. Thanks for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the Farm Progress Show from Decatur, Illinois. This is AgriTalk.